Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the Slightly Above Average Ship Review. All right, this was supposed to be a video review of the Tier 6 Royal Navy Premium Battle Cruiser Resistance. However, that's not what you're going to see today. Instead, you're going to see a game that made me rage quit. Okay? The game that made me rage quit. And it is not due to the enemy team. All right, here's a look at the teams. We're on Sleeping Giant. It is a domination match. We are top tier. I have a pretty highly ranked commander, 16-3, John Arbuthnot Fisher, if I'm remembering his name correctly. So I am looking at those teams thinking, I am going to dominate in this match, especially on this map, which I think has a lot of opportunities for a battle cruiser, although it is a little more wide open than I would like, especially in the middle. But that being said, if you have unlocked the British battle cruisers, you will know that they're generally pretty quick, that they have torpedoes, that they can do a lot of different stuff, except take tons of damage. And so we're moving out here. Originally, I am heading towards Bravo, just really trying to get up against this island and do a little bit of shooting. Unfortunately, you'll see due to the map design, 90% of my team feels the exact same way. The Black Widow is on the enemy team in this match. I know he has his own YouTube channel. He or she, quite frankly, I don't know. I think it's a he, but I don't know. Anyway, I know they're friends with Vaz Vegas, so if you want to check out the Black Widow's channel on YouTube, I encourage you to do so. But anyway, whenever I see someone else that I know creates content in this game, I make sure to highlight them for my teammates, so we don't end up in their video. Whether that's a dick move or not, who knows? Probably is. All right. Duke of York showing the broadside. We will fire our first salvo of armor piercing that way. And because I'm a knob, I don't bother zooming in to show you the dispersion or anything. But because, again, this isn't the ship review, who cares? All right, we get damaged. We get set on fire. The enemy team is already killed. The first blue ship, I think that's the Black Widow in the Shiny Horse coming up the flank. So we hit him right there for some damage. I'm backing off. As you can see in the minimap, all the blue ships are clustered up right here. A real cluster F or clusterfuck or whatever. There's a destroyer. Somebody please shoot at him. I always fix my secondaries on a destroyer. But we're just backing up. If somebody else wants to take all that damage, you go right ahead. I'm going to protect myself. We will shoot at the Blizkavicza B over there. I said this on Reddit, and I will say it again here. In my opinion, black version ships, winter version ships are a pox on this game, and they should be removed and discontinued, never to be seen from again. Wargaming, for introducing those ships, you are assholes. The winter edition used to be just a camouflage, and now it's a full-fledged copy of a ship you already have. And some of the mods over on Reddit will insist that, oh, they're different, they're not the same. Bullshit. They're the same ship, and they have a minor difference to the AA or something like that of the secondaries. A very small, insignificant difference. It's the same ship. All right, the Black Widow is getting torn to pieces out there. I just wouldn't have gone that far up. Scharnhorst, I think, is the best range at tier 6, if I'm not mistaken, among battleships. So I'm not telling him how to play his ship. I mean, obviously, he or she is probably way better than I am, but I wouldn't have gone that far up. You know, that's just me. Because if you were going to get to where you could use torpedoes and stuff, you know, that's one thing. but nobody's advancing from our team up there, so I wouldn't have gone that far forward. Not at this point in the match. Anyway, I believe the Black Widow is going to be sent back to port here in just a second, which is why he won't have this game on his channel. Anyway, Iron Duke is still getting punished, and I decide to make my push, folks. I decide now is the time to make the push. There are plenty of blue ships hiding behind me, and we've got a heavily damaged Scharnhorst, who's the most dangerous ship over here. Got a Duke of York. I'm going to punch right there. So yeah, I decided I am pushing. I hit my engine boost. That's something that these ships have, which is great. And we're going to continue to move forward. Duke of York has taken a bunch of damage. Scharnhorst is about dead. Scharnhorst is dead. And so this push is working out. Collingswood, we will fire at the superstructure. And just using my torpedo launcher to gauge the movement of the Collingswood. It's not moving. Way in the back is another ship that I point out, a cruiser I point out for my teammates to shoot at. We're still in on this Iron Duke, up into the superstructure. He is close to death. Maybe my secondaries can take him out. But again, the other thing is quick reload. All right, we're getting some HE shots from the side. I'm just willing to take that as I continue my monster push up into the red team's flank. Here is the coup de grace on the Iron Duke. And we're going to employ our torpedo launchers. But first, I'm waiting for the Collingswood to shoot. I don't know what just made that noise. Maybe my Apple Watch. Popeyes wants me to buy a chicken sandwich. All right, Collingswood. He's starting to turn, so I'm going to feather my torpedoes into his turn. Unfortunately, by doing that, we're going to eat an entire salvo from the carrier. We kill the Collingswood, and now we're shooting at, what is that, a Helena? And here's a really odd thing. I thought I was stuck on the hull of the Iron Duke. My propeller is totally knocked out. I have no forward or rearward motion. Right here, I'm thinking I can just mash the hull of the Iron Duke underwater. Then I'm going to throw it into the reverse, and nothing will happen. And only until after the propeller repairs itself, as the Helena gets taken out, do I realize that I had no propulsion whatsoever. I was literally dead in the water with a flood. Alright, so waiting. Good grief. I'm going to get my damage control party, and then... Oh, I have a flood? Well, maybe I should damage con that. Alright, so now we can finally move. Our next target over here is going to be a Hugo Winter Edition. Alright, right now, let's get back to why I'm rage quitting. We have a huge lead. We've only lost 2 ships. The enemy's lost 5 ships. We have the Charlie cap. The enemy has the Alpha and Bravo cap. We're separated by about 23 to 26 points. Alright, 20 points. So right now, what is the thing you have to do in a domination match? You have to capture the cap circles. So we captured Charlie, even though I didn't capture it myself. We led the charge through Charlie, and now I'm going after the Hugo W. And so at this point, we capture Bravo, and then we capture Alpha. And I really don't know what is making that noise because I'm not getting any notifications on my phone. All right. So, I mean, that sounds like a pretty solid battle plan, right? Capture Bravo, capture Alpha, and then, meanwhile, while we're doing that, we finish off the 3 remaining enemy ships, one of which is an aircraft carrier. All right, that sounds pretty normal, pretty rational. I think we have a lot of players left. Should be relatively easy to accomplish this. It doesn't happen that way. All right, so first, I'm still using our second speed boost. We're going to come around and engage the Hugo. And he is kind of not giving us a great angle here, but we'll light him up. We do some pretty respectable damage. We're going to turn. We're going to get these torpedoes out, depending on which way we think he's moving. I incidentally block some torpedoes. And my teammate really smashed him, and before we can get any damage, the Hugo gets finished off. So I'm like, look, we all shouldn't do the same thing. So I'm going to go into Alpha, and you guys can cap Bravo, and we'll be good. And there's no need to communicate any of this because you can't say, you do this, I'll do that in the comms wheel. Is the failing the comms wheel? Well, here I'm trying to signal to defend Charlie because their destroyer is clearly in Charlie. And now they only have 2 ships left, a destroyer and a carrier. And I'm just like, please go reinforce Charlie, use teamwork, spot the destroyer, kill the destroyer, end of the match. But all I can signal is protect this battleship because he is in the way of me saying protect Charlie. So I'm like, okay, well, clearly the aircraft carrier is over here on the other side of Alpha. I'm probably going to be dealing with the aircraft carrier because I got a couple of kills. And so I can't go hunt the destroyer because then we won't be able to cap Alpha, right? I mean, that's not a job I'm best suited to in this match. So we're capturing Bravo. And again, I'm trying to signal for Charlie. And so I go to the map and say, hey, guys, get in there, find that destroyer and kill him. And meanwhile, our destroyer is doing what he should do. He's capturing Bravo. I'm going to go into Alpha, and I'm going to capture Alpha, and then I'm going to kill the aircraft carrier. So I think this could work. Meanwhile, the enemy destroyer, he flipped Charlie because those ships were either too far away, and I get a battleship not wanting to get in close to a destroyer. I get that. But you can use teamwork to spot the ship. And now that our destroyer captured Bravo, he's going to head over to Charlie, but I don't really think he's going to get a lot of support from either of the ships we have left. Meanwhile, because I'm over in Alpha, I'm being targeted by the carrier. So I think, well, I cannot stay in here because if I stay in Alpha, we're never going to cap Alpha because he's just going to keep damaging me before I can get it capped out. Meanwhile, we lost another ship to the destroyer. So I'm like, hey guys, he's in Charlie, go get him. And so somewhere near me is our other battleship. And I'm presuming he's seen this cap reset several times and will think to himself, well, that guy's being attacked by the aircraft carrier. And that's not something I can say on the comms wheel. I can't say, hey, I'm being attacked by the aircraft carrier, so I'm moving out of Alpha so you can cap it. And I'll go after the aircraft carrier. He'll be paying attention to me, and you'll be able to flip Alpha, and we'll still win the game. But I can't say that unless I use my microphone. And unless I get into game chat. And maybe if that person has game chat turned up, is listening to it. All those things have to happen and they're not. So we're going to turn resistance here to dodge incoming torpedoes. I'm totally going to dodge them. And you can look on the minimap and see the other blue battleship passed right by the entrance to Alpha, even though he had to have clearly seen me leave Alpha. And so he didn't support the destroyer that went over into Charlie. And he didn't go into Alpha to cap Alpha. But at some point here, he's going to say, oh, by the way, cap Alpha. What? He drove by Alpha after I left Alpha because I was being attacked by the carrier. And he's going to say, capture Alpha, somebody. Not me. Not me, the guy who's not under attack who just drove by the entrance to Alpha. Not me. You. Yeah, you. You, capture Alpha. He's going to say somebody should capture Alpha. Meanwhile, we're in the last minute of the match. We're going to lose this match.
Capture that area.
Because he either A, didn't support the destroyer to kill the enemy destroyer, or didn't go into alpha when I had to leave alpha because I was under attack by the carrier. And so I'm like, well, I can take out the carrier, but we can't win. We can't win because of teamwork and lack of communication. And I'm not sure that I was as angry at my teammates at not understanding what I thought was fairly obvious as I am at myself. This was easily a winnable match. And instead, all we get is a defeat. And as I sat there going through these screens and thinking about this game and thinking about the missed opportunities, I kept getting madder and madder and madder and more angry. We had a great game in the Resistance, but it's a loss. I don't want to use open communications, but unfortunately, I think that's the only way to prevent this, because some of your teammates cannot figure this stuff out themselves. They need direction. But then even more frustrating, you give them direction and they don't follow it, you know? And that guy who didn't go into the cap circle literally didn't do anything the entire match. And I'm sitting there looking at this, I'm just growing angrier and angrier. So this is the game that made me rage quit. Not because of what the enemy did, but because of what our own team didn't do. And hey, GG to the Moss. He probably would have had a Kraken if those guys had gone over there. But maybe they would have killed him. Maybe they could have killed him. Maybe they could have stopped the counting of Charlie. And maybe that would have been enough if the Nagato had gone into alpha for us to win this game. Anyway, I would be interested in hearing what you have to think. Like, comment, subscribe below. I will see you on the next video, everybody. Hope you checked out my combat clip of the Shima. It is in the shorts section, so check that out. Thanks for watching, everybody.